So for 2023, my weight loss journey has nothing to do with nutrition or exercise. I'm actually throwing out my Vans 5-step plan. We're going to talk about how all of these diets don't mean jack. You're going to want to stick around to the end because this weight loss journey channel is doing a massive 180 degrees in 2023. Hi everyone, Van here, and glad you could make it to my very last video of 2022. This video is going to list the most popular diets and health plans of 2022 on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and Facebook. We're going to talk about vegans versus vegetarians and why we should respect them. We're also going to talk about how many billions of hashtags on diets that are on TikTok. Yes, that's billions. And guess what? We're going to talk about how all of these diets don't mean jack. Seriously, you're going to want to stick around to the end because this weight loss journey channel is doing a massive 180 degrees in 2023. You want to stick around for sure. It's really, really exciting. So let's start with the juicy diets of 2022. The top searched and ranked were TLC, Therapeutic Lifestyle Change Diet, which was created by the NIH, Mayo Clinic Diet, the Atkins Diet, Volumetrics Diet, Flexitarian, Weight Watchers, or otherwise known as WW, Mediterranean Diet, DASH, and Keto. So that's the list. I didn't want to go long and describing each of these plans since I want to get to the end and tell you about the big change in 2023 for this channel, and because all of you already know how to Google this stuff. And with that said, there are 3 diets that I wanted to talk about that were really popular on social media and that I really failed hard on them. Okay, so the first one, Mediterranean diet. This isn't really a diet, but more of adopting a lifestyle of eating from countries that border the Mediterranean Sea, such as Greece and Italy. It's basically whole foods with primary fats from olive oil and fish oils. I love Greek and Italian food. However, here in the US, we are a melting pot of all sorts of cultural foods that are healthy too. Unfortunately, when you bring ethnic foods to the US, it becomes very Americanized quickly. Larger portions, more of all the naughty parts of the dish, more fats, more sugars, more meats, more. The kind of Italian and Greek food I love aren't necessarily healthy. You should see the lasagna and gyros I make. It would make the Mediterraneans swoon and probably faint. Even though it's supposed to be in moderation, wine is also part of the menu. I think that's a hook for many people for the Mediterranean, wine. Okay, so DASH diet. Like most other diets, it's whole foods with fat-free to low-fat foods. Most fats come from fish and vegetable oils. What you can't eat, though, is this: candy, cookies, chips, salted nuts, sodas, sugary drinks, pastries, snacks, meat dishes, pizza, soups, salad dressing, cheese, cold cuts, bread, sandwiches, sauces. So of course this is going to work, but you might as well be dead. And then finally, keto. This one we all heard of for years. It's the low to no carb diet where we force the body to burn its own fat for energy. Carbs are kept under 20 net carbs per day, and protein and fat is used to fill in most of the calories. The center of this diet is ketones, or being on a ketogenic state. This basically means your body is in a mode where it's burning fat from the body rather from the foods ingested. I was really bummed out when the Mediterranean, DASH, and keto diets didn't work out. In the end, they didn't work because I couldn't stick to them for more than a few months. I didn't have the staying power for them. A lot of it was willpower, and willpower is the enemy of most diets. Okay, so my villainous friends over at TikTok. I have some posts on TikTok, but I don't spend much time on the platform. However, I found some astonishing data on hashtags on health and diets on TikTok. If you ever think you're alone on dieting and weight loss, check out how many people or hashtags are interested in losing weight on TikTok. As of December 2022 on TikTok, these are the most popular hashtags for diets. Keto, 10.3 billion hashtags. Calorie counting, 5.6 billion. Low carb diet, 4.5 billion. Vegan, 3.6 billion. And vegetarian, 2.3 billion hashtags. I would be impressed if these data numbers were millions, but it's crazy because we're talking about billions. I mean, think about it. 10.3 billion hashtags for keto? I mean, how is this even possible? There's only 8 billion people on the planet. While I'm not a big fan of TikTok, the data is telling us that people want to improve their health and diet. Okay, so that was TikTok. And now let's talk about them people. You know who I'm talking about, vegans and vegetarians. Okay, I know plenty of people joke about vegans and vegetarians. I have a lot of respect for them, and it's definitely a lifestyle beyond just nutrients. There's a whole philosophical background to them, and I think it's pretty cool. However, for me, my life and the people I hang with, being a vegan or vegetarian would just make things too complicated. I just can't imagine having to explain myself every time someone asks me about, what's the difference between vegans and vegetarians. So let's just take a look at that. Vegetarians don't eat living beings above what would be classified as plants or non-living organisms. I know we can debate about that all day, but a blade of grass is a living being, right? In any case, vegetarians will eat byproducts from animals that aren't slaughtered. For example, eggs, dairy products, and honey. Unfortunately, most animals producing eggs and dairy will eventually be slaughtered anyways. Vegans are vegetarians, but with more limitations. They will not consume any byproducts of an animal as well. This includes no eggs, honey, and dairy. Additionally, many will go beyond the diet and not use leather goods, wool, beeswax, soaps, and cosmetics containing animal fat. I know people laugh or scoff. Heck, some people even villainize vegans and vegetarians. Vegetarians and vegans live a very dedicated life, and their hearts are in the right place. I think some vegetarians and vegans come off smug, standoffish, or judgmental, but I honestly think they are like this because they are always having to explain and defend what they are doing. I think we should honor and, respect them and learn from their lifestyles. It is definitely a discipline, and I hope that if you run into a vegan or vegetarian, support them, and when you eat with them, eat side by side with them without judgment. Okay, so now we cover vegans and vegetarians. We all can be friends. Okay, so we talked about the top trending and popular diets of 2022, but you know what? None of it means jack. Like seriously, in my last 20 years, I've tried them all. Look at me. Look at me. Am I a good example of these diets? I've been intermittent dieting for nearly 2 years. I don't do breakfast, lunch, and snacks until dinner. So now I have high blood pressure, diabetes, and I'm overweight. I also take some prescriptions, which I found out that YouTube doesn't allow me to say or write in my description. So just message me or email me if you want to talk about it. And no, this isn't a pity fest for myself. I'm just telling you my status and history. Believe me, in 2023, you're going to kick ass and take names. So here's where I'm diverging from all of the diet trends. It's not about the diet plan. It's not about what I am consuming. It's not because I'm not smart enough or don't understand. I've run several successful businesses, from selling Ferraris and Aston Martins to doing development in artificial intelligence. These diet plans aren't that complicated to understand. It's not the diet. I'm sure every one of you watching is like, all of these plans aren't really complicated. Each plan could probably be typed out on a single piece of paper, so it's not that complicated. But then why is 41.9% of the US population diagnosed with obesity? Why is diabetes and heart disease the top killers in the United States? It's because we're treating it as a physical problem. All of these diet plans definitely work in theory, but in the end, obesity is getting worse every year. I had an epiphany in 2022, actually just a few weeks ago. I'm overweight, and the 41.9% of obese people in the United States are mostly suffering from some type of mental health issue. I didn't say everyone overweight has a mental health issue. I said mostly. And don't associate mental health from the 1950s and 60s where mental health equaled the loony bin or craziness. Mental health is about understanding our inner self. Here are the words or hashtags or meta tags when I think of mental health: depression, stress, career, crappy bosses, passions unfulfilled, self-esteem, addiction, anxiety, death, cheating, family problems, money, disaster, divorce, and it can go on. I truly believe this is the primary reason why most of us are overweight. We encounter many of these issues or problems through our lives, and for many of us, we're juggling several of these problems simultaneously. When people talk about a time when they were overweight, most of the time it was during a time when they were going through some kind of funk. One of the first things a therapist will ask someone going through a crisis is, are they losing or gaining weight? Well, some people lose weight, most start to gain weight. So when I see someone who is overweight, I don't see someone who doesn't know how to eat right. I don't see a person who isn't smart enough to figure it out. I don't see a person who is undisciplined. What I see is a person who is struggling with something in their life. For many of us, food is comfort. It's safe. It's a little moment of happiness. Believe me, I understand. I really do. This is why you and I are having this talk. And in this talk, we're going to change our dialogue. Our dialogue is going to be who we want to be and making it happen. No more excuses, okay? Great. So for 2023, my weight loss journey has nothing to do with nutrition or exercise. I'm actually throwing out my Vans 5-step plan. This channel will still have my goal of losing 94 pounds, but it's not going to be the focus. The focus is going to be about our life, your life, my life. It's not going to be, a vlog about my personal life. It's going to be about reflection and who we want to be. Every week, I will do a video on different kinds of struggles and ideas and discoveries on how to improve ourselves from the inside. I'm going to spend 2023 learning and discovering with you on how to get back to ourselves, our real selves. We will see and reflect the image that we want to see in ourselves. No more excuses, no more victimization of ourselves, no more. No diet plan is going to work if your mind and body isn't in sync. There's an entire unique universe inside of each of you that has so much potential and power. We're going to tap into that. And I know that by the end of 2023, you and I are going to celebrate, and we will find a truer, authentic, and genuine me and you. Before I go, I want to do a special shout out to some really important people in my life. First, Abby, my amazing friend. Happy birthday, dear Abby. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Who I admire so much, and I'm so proud that he is a Yale graduate and entrepreneur. Then my buddy, Mikey. Okay, this is Van, and this is Mikey, and this is Nick.
Nick! Oh,
Do it again. My good buddy from Atlanta, who always calls me randomly to just get me off the couch. These two guys are so busy, yet they always find time to keep me up and going. My son, Scotty. Man, this little guy is amazing. He's going to be 12 in a month, and he's everything I wish I could have been at his age. He's mindful, fair, considerate, smart, and lately, he's been kicking my ass on every game on the Xbox and PS5. Then I want to thank my parents, the most loving and encouraging people I know. They have always been there for me and always shown me love even when it's tough love. Now that they are older, I plan to spend more time with them. And lastly, Michelle. The love of my life. In my darkest hours, with humility, I look to her for strength. I would not be here if she wasn't in my life. She is thoughtful and mindful beyond reproach. I have never met someone who is uniquely tuned into other people's feelings. I look at her as a shaman, a thought leader. She is loyal to her family and appreciates the intangible nuances of relationships. Every relationship has its ups and downs. However, the ups and downs we've had are about going deeper into each other's minds and understanding our needs and wants. The change to this channel for 2023 is hugely based on her influence on me. So thank you, Michelle, for your wisdom, love, and support. So this is my last video of 2022, and in 2023, I'm super excited to take this weight loss journey in a completely different direction. Subscribe, like, and I highly suggest watching my previous videos as context and to understand why I'm starting over with this channel in 2023. It's exciting times, and no matter what the media says about 2023, this is mine and your year. See you in 2023.